how do we even guess? How do we even guess about who takes this one?
Some people bat chest for Marvel's what if. I bat chest for Brawlhalla's what if. And the what if is what if Acno and Blaze and Godly and Swata fought each other for like 5th place in a tournament. That's wild. And that's where we find ourselves as we get into game 1 on Apocalypse. The character picks pretty much remain the same, but we're seeing Blaze come out with a regular Olgrim pick that we're used to sometimes. And then, of course, we see the Acno Val coming out. You saw that side signature early on right over the corner.
Yeah, Godly has been coming in swinging, too. It doesn't matter who's in the way. He has hit everyone in exchange, but nobody has fallen just yet. Side air is not going to be enough to take out Godly. Does, in fact, avoid the weapon toss. Side air is going to net at least one, though, as they do get rid of Swata.
There you see hitting your own teammate doesn't have as much force on it as hitting the opponent. There is a little bit of a reduction there, and that's probably one of the only reasons that Blaze was surviving, or that Acno was surviving on that one.
Godly's going to fall from that incredible coverage by Blaze. Blaze, the Swata is able to avoid that nair, at least from Acno. As we already know, Acno off stage, you are subject to possibly lose your stock at any given point in time, so that was good evasive pressure from him there.
Nice follow-up, man. Oh my gosh. I feel like the sort of symbol of who might win this one is how early we see the best follow-ups coming out. And I've seen so far, I think the better follow-ups have been coming out of Blaze and Acno. We've seen them out of Godly and Swata, don't get me wrong, but I think the better follow-ups early on, right as we get into this game, have been coming out from Blaze and Acno. It is 5 stocks to 3, now 4 stocks to 3. We could see 3 to 3 very quickly as Acno has a ton of damage on this stock. Godly's getting there, though, and we always have to remember when you see a Maggie on the screen, when you see a Jala on the screen, a lower defense legend. When you have heavy hitting legends here coming out like Blaze's Olgrim that has the lance and has the axe, and then of course Acno's signature kit that he can bring out that's very unique on the Vow, you have a lot of KO potential. But look at that KO potential, but unfortunately they missed the side sig.
I'm going to harp back to what you were saying before. The blue team has had better team follow-ups. Obviously they just missed that one there too, but Godly's also had some miscued spots where the last stock that flew away from Swata was actually a Godly recovery on Axe. So there has been some mispositioning, and Godly's not going to position himself to sneak in just underneath to get that wall touch as they both sit here on last stock. Weapon toss might seal the fate of Swata, getting out there to try and get that recovery on, hit him, but he does not save him, and now he's forced to fight the 2v1.
So we saw Godly fall over on the left side to Blaze. Blaze ended up burning his dodge pretty early in that, but because Acno was there to keep Swata busy, that meant Swata couldn't rotate over and take advantage of that dodge being on cooldown coming out from Blaze. And of course, Blaze was extremely red at that moment. So that could have turned into a 1-for-1 trade. Still would have been in the lead of the blue team, but if you can stay away from that trade and just get it for you for free, Acno did a great job of making sure that was a 1-for-0 trade.
Well, if there's ever anybody you could kind of try to take a guess who can make a comeback here, Godly's one of the few that could put in that category. Now, he's not going to be able to save that after getting hit by the recovery there, but with the knockout potential you have, of course, with Maggie, there's always the world where he may pull it off. But they were able to shut it down at the end. I think the biggest thing is going to have to be positional awareness. Obviously, is one thing that's a simple thing that you need to make sure you're not doing is hitting each other. But two, the team combos. They brought it back by strong 1v1s, mostly Sparky. It wasn't nearly as many team combo lineups. They're going to run it right back to Apocalypse. How you feel like about the approaches they need to take to get the second game?
They need to force more situations that are favorable for the red team. Honestly, I can't tell you what those situations are right now because it seems like everything favors the blue team. The offstage game, okay, maybe things are starting to turn around. Maybe the offstage is what they needed to force. Oh, goodness, a lot of things happening over on that right side edge. There's that side signature. You saw Swata go for that really early on the left side last game. Finds the connection here, takes Acno out. They are forcing these initiations, forcing these engagements.
They had a full course meal set up and they finished their food and asked for dessert after. That was incredibly well played by dealing with Acno. They have Blaze already in the red. A good dodge in the middle momentarily for Swata. Swata dipping away though, does avoid the ground pound. Weapon toss down. Blaze is not going to get the touch after that, and that puts them back. That puts them in a momentary lead.
Oh man, there you see how damaged Swata is. Swata is playing Val, which does have higher than average defense, but you saw Acno's Val come out with the neutral signature, going to be that 45-degree angle. That is the furthest that you can possibly send your opponent to the blast zone, and because of that, there was not a KO off of it immediately when Acno hit it on the sword.
They did not take very long either to even it up as well. That is actually a very crucial factor. You do not want to be having Godly and Swata getting a lot of damage off of here. Just missed out on the side light to be able to volley him back. Does not lead to much, but they do at least have them in the red. Godly's defense has been on point so far here in the second shot, Sparky.
Now, that was a really interesting choice from Swata on that team combo to send the opponents back into Godly because it was off stage. You might think that he would go for the side air towards the blast zone, but they weren't in KO damage, so that wouldn't lead to a KO. His thought process there was probably like, let's extend this combo and build up more damage, and maybe Godly wasn't ready for that. Maybe Godly was expecting the side air the other direction, so his reaction was just a little bit slow because he didn't know what to expect.
Maybe so. They did answer very quickly with these two, and Godly took no damage and missed the hunting for that. They do. That Swata's stock was on borrowed time at that point. Now one stock apiece here, completely fresh. It's going to be on this big team combo here. They do get the dare to close it out. They had to stop though because Acno got in right away.
I like calling them Swadly. I didn't think I would like that, but now that I heard it, I like
now
that.
It's stuck.
They're the Brangelina. I don't know any other silly celebrity couple names. Do we still do those? I don't know if we do those.
I don't know if we do those anymore.
It's not 2004.
It is for us. Well, right now, Godly and Swata, or Swadly, as now been dubbed, taking a decent amount of damage. Acno going in, just misses out. That could have been really bad for Swata. He does sneak his way back on, gets hit by the dare though. Acno is going to come back on recovery, and a recovery hit coming in from Acno. Everybody deep in the red. It's all going to be on who gets the strike first. Not going to fall off the top just yet.
Dude, the blue team is doing such a good job of keeping Swata off of the weapon, especially now that we're this late in the game and everyone is so damaged. I think that's one of the reasons we saw Blaze and Acno actually taking that one, given how even it was. They kept the red team off of weapons, specifically Swata, for a while. Then Godly threw his axe down, and he was disarmed for a moment. And the weapon spawn that was already there was just yoinked up by the blue team. So keeping that KO potential down as much as possible gave Blaze and Acno the opportunity to find the KOs first.
Is it even proper to say, like, believers in chat feeling good right now because it's Acno and Blaze? Like, Godly and Swata, Acno and Blaze. Yeah, of course, you know, win record has been in favor of Godly and Swata recently, but I feel like even saying, hey, believers in chat feel good because Acno and Blaze might get the quote-unquote upset. No, this is crazy. They're currently up 2-0. I expect this to go full game 5, and they were able to shut it down. That was very close at the end, of course. They won out. But Godly and Swata are going to have to put in some work to finish their food this time. They haven't been able to seal the deal first on any of these last stock situations, and it might happen again as Swata's already taken a lot of damage.
Yeah, this is a huge opening. He's going to be swapping over to the Koji. That is going to give him sort of that lower defense. Not quite as low as Godly, unless they are actually matching 4-4. If Godly's going into the strength or defense stance, and Swata's going away from the defense stance or just the default stance. So one thing I'm looking at here that I was talking about in the pre-show is I was looking at ranked leaderboard a lot. And one of those things was Blaze, but also we didn't get to mention it too much in the pre-show, but Godly. He's been grinding as well. He grinded specifically with Blaze quite a bit. He also grinded with Fozy, and he grinded with Curious. I don't know who that is, but Godly has been grinding on the leaderboard as well, but so has Blaze. And if you look at the raw numbers, Blaze has been more successful on the leaderboard if you look at all of the different teams he's been grinding with.
But that does give you some familiarity to what people are approaching too. That being said, Godly and Swata have actually been team comboing Acno and Blaze nonstop. They haven't been able to knock them out, though.
Bro.
They haven't been able to knock them out. They did so much damage, and they're behind 3 stocks, still full on Acno and Blaze, both of them at sneeze range to be knocked out, and they can't find it.
Oh, dude,
Well,
I almost thought Blaze was somehow going to get the save on Acno. He was going to throw out like a GC light or a GC inlight.
I believe you.
Which, honestly, the GC inlight, because so much damage was on Acno, that might have actually still KO'd, but the other direction.
Like, this is a phenomenal lead they have right now. Swata currently getting juggled around. Godly doing his best to save. D-Light's there. Wait, okay. Big team combo damage happening all of a sudden. Okay.
What is happening here as Godly and Swata fight their way back into this one? Eyes are on Swata, though, if you're looking at the red team.
Yeah.
Extremely damaged. He needs to find the stock here. Has to be careful. That weapon toss sent him flying. Both members of the blue team just on their way. Pedal to the metal. And it was Godly. Oh, no. Is he going to be the one that leads to taking out his team? The GC light was absolutely necessary.
Was that a layered bait? He went out there and got a double hit on a recovery on them as they went out for him.
I don't know if that was a bait.
I'm trying to fill up same story. But wait, they do get to that fall. Swata somehow dodging that double play that they had that didn't work out. And then they got the two-piece knockout. Swata staying as grounded as possible, not trying to get hit by a stray side air from either of them.
We're seeing Swata over on the edge. We have confirmation that he is in defense stance, and he's going to need every bit of it as he's extremely red. The D-Light there, yo! Onto Acno. That's the Val defense holding on, but the defense from
D-Light recovery, not enough off the top. Sider coming through. That's not going to send him away. Swata holding on just long enough. They have Acno within range. His recovery does good. The knockout, though, it made it a little bit more doable for Godly, but he's unarmed at the moment.
Blaze has the lance. Oh, he went for the GC inlight after the neutral air. He's still going for the inlights. Acno hits the gauntlet recovery. They're going to have complete control of the weapons. Neutral air still not enough just yet.
He sneaks his way back down, but he cannot get to a weapon at all, and it's getting so much worse because, as we said before, not much health. Does get the Axel. Cider comes through, and it's going to be Acno and Blaze taking it 3-0 over Godly and Swata. The #1 seed of the tournament has fallen to 5th place here at Autumn Championships.
I can't believe that the 3-0 happened from Acno and Blaze, but I also can't believe how that almost denied the 3-0. That's unreal. That's unreal Brawlhalla gameplay there, to essentially get beaten down that much and still be able to make it a game.
It was 1,094 to 1,081.
Wow.
That was as close as you could possibly get. And a big part of why they even stayed in it at the end was the fact that Swata was so impossible to hit at one point, even when he went that deep into the red, but still made it.